In today's video, Marc Dechevre is going to join us, and he's going to show us SCSS, what that is, how it's different from CSS, if it's different, and a whole bunch of cool things that we can do with it. Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too, and thanks for tuning in to Watch Me Work live stream number 99. Number 99 here in the Basic Joomla Tutorials YouTube channel. So actually, if you're watching this on the replay, we've just had a few minutes of delay setting some things up, so that's already been clipped off. You'll never see that, and that's why you're stuck with this very professional beginning. Next week, Watch Me Work live stream number 100 will be here on the channel, December 23rd, and we've got some special things planned, including some rounds of Joomla Jenga. So if you want to know what that is, well, I kind of explained it, but that part's already been cut off. You will enjoy it. We'll have some fun, and I'm hoping that tentatively Marc is going to be one of the competitors in Joomla Jenga. So before we proceed, I just want to let you know that today's video is brought to you by our channel sponsor, MySites.guru. Head on over to MySites.guru and get a free site audit for your Joomla site or your WordPress site if you happen to have one of those. And while you're there, check out everything you can do to manage one or multiple websites with MySites.guru. And if you subscribe, use the coupon code BasicJoomla and you'll get your first month free. All right, so I'm going to have to do a little, excuse me, a little bit of finagling here. But hello, Marc. Thanks for coming back on the channel.
I don't see you in the video, Tim. Is that normal?
Well, it's not only it's not normal, but it's actually the way a lot of people like it to not see me in the video. So what I'm going to do here is, because Zoom requires a slightly different setup, what I need to do is get, I might not be able to get my camera going again because I changed it from Zoom so that I could show my lovely face while things were getting sorted out here. So let me just, whoops, that's not what we want. Gallery view. Oh, there it is. Full screen that I want. And you are there. And
Am I?
And then the next thing I need to do is I'm going to try one thing to see if I can get my camera going. Otherwise, I will just, okay. Oh, okay. I'm going to show up just in the bottom right-hand corner, which is a little bit different than usually when I do Zoom. But we're all good. So in 20 words or less, Marc, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are for those that have not had the pleasure of seeing you on the channel before. I know your site is WallerWeb, and if you want to know a lot about him, you can check out the interview that Chait and I did with him on Joomcast.
Yeah.
But all right, so welcome, my friend.
So thank you. Who am I? That's a question.
Yes, Jean Valjean asked that.
Hopefully, by the end of my life, I will know it, because it is the quest of everybody's life to know who he or she is, right?
Yep.
But as today, I'm a Joomler. And I claim to be the #1 fan in the world of Joomla custom fields.
And we have a series of, was it 2 or 3 videos that we did on custom fields here on the channel where you took...
Actually, they are so long that you could make 10 episodes of them.
Yes, they are. But that's the great thing. That's the great thing about video. You can always pause it and come back. But they're on the channel as well. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Marc.
And I'm from Belgium, and
do you say you're from Bangladesh?
No, not from Bangladesh.
Oh, sorry, Belgium. Okay, I got that wrong. Inside joke, everybody.
Country just between France, the Netherlands, and Germany and Luxembourg.
Yes, right? So that's a bit of an inside joke, everyone, because the first time Marc came on the stream, I put a flag on the thumbnail. And I put the flag of France on the thumbnail, and Marc said, "Oh, hey, no, I'm not in France." So I went, "Oh, sorry about that." So anyway, so then there was some fun teasing about that, and then the other day, Marc was doing a live stream on someone's the Jersey user group, in the States, and he said, oh, someone was talking to him, and he said, oh, you're. He suggested
Jim
that maybe,
Shaker.
that you were in Bangladesh, but the person was in India. So then afterwards, we had a really good laugh because Mark was thinking of me when he did that. So, hello, Imran,
Exactly.
Imran, Chayton, Bjorn, Serge, William. They're in chat here, and Ahmet says hi from Turkey. So, all right. So I will watch chat here, and the chat replay will not be here because and the replay simply because when I edit out the beginning of this, the chat gets dropped. But and Randy Williams is here. Hello, Randy. So I'll move chat over when it's necessary. But okay, SCSS, take it away.
Yep. So my turn to speak. Actually,
Oh, yes, it's your turn to speak.
no, but I told you that maybe you could, in the introduction, explain why we are having this session tonight. Actually, if a couple of weeks ago, you made a session about variables in CSS,
Yeah.
which is quite handy. So maybe you can put the link for the people who did not attend that session.
Yes,
So
they should watch all my videos, don't you think?
Yes, I think so. So that was an interesting session, so that people actually in CSS, as you explained, you can create variables so that instead of maybe you use 20 times the same color, the main color of some website, you use it 20, maybe 100 times in your CSS. So actually in regular CSS files, you can just create a variable so that everywhere in your code you can repeat that color, for example, or even other things than colors. But so following that, I had made a little message to you to know, oh, by the way, since you're interested by that, do you know SCSS? And then you said, oh, Mark, would you like to have a session on that? So that's why we are gathering tonight. Well, this afternoon for you.
That's actually still mornings.
It's morning. Oh, sorry. You just got up. It's the end of the day for me. Maybe I should share my screen now.
Yes.
But I'm quite worried because I cannot access the back end of the website I wanted to use for the tests.
Womp womp.
But anyway, we'll see that in a second.
Hey, in chat, Ahmet is asking if you could have subtitles in Turkish, and I don't think that's possible for the live stream. But I actually do have a tool that will let me roughly translate Google's guess of what's being said in a live stream, and I think hopefully Turkish is one of the ones that will that I can add to the replay. So Ahmet, after the replay is up, and check and we'll see if that's there. And if not, give me an email. Shoot me an email, tim@cybersalt.com, if that's not happening, and I can update you on that. So, you don't speak Turkish, do you?
No.
No. So, you speak?
I speak. My mother language is French,
Yeah.
and I can speak also English and Dutch, and I have a few notions of German.
Okay.
Enough to attend a Joomla day someday. Once I went to Germany for a Joomla day, so. It would depend on the topic. Sometimes I would get like 90% of the discussion, sometimes 10%.
Okay. Well, if you could speak Turkish,
not.
If you could speak Turkish, that would be a delight. All right.
Yeah, but for the captions, on YouTube people will have them, but in Zoom it's not automatic and it's not free. You can implement that, but you need a third-party service.
No worries.
So here, écran partagé. Yeah, I can share my screen. So, are you seeing my screen here?
I am.
Okay, good then. Actually, the first time I used, I knew it existed, but I never really had the use of automating my CSS to that point. Usually, I would not even use CSS variables like you showed, which was a mistake because it's a good idea to use them. Maybe it's not compatible with very old browsers. You should check that, like Internet Explorer, I don't know, 6 or whatever. And so here for this website, it's a governmental website in Belgium. Actually, it is made by different ministries, right? Is that the correct word, ministry?
Sure.
Yeah.
Ministry of Health, Ministry of Things, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And so the homepage, the main color here was, how do you call it, brown?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then every section of the website would be made by a different ministry. The health status report is made by, I don't remember whom, I don't want to say names, but it was made by the ministry having the color green, right? And that's why you have everything in green, the banner here with the
breadcrumbs.
With the breadcrumbs, yeah. Sorry, I go back to the page. You would have the pale green color for each box. When you hover them, it is a bit darker, but yet lighter than the breadcrumb background, right?
Yeah.
And this was the green, for example, for the health status, but for the other ministry, the color is orange. So again, we would have the same. We would have dark orange as background for the breadcrumbs, and then light orange for the different blocks, different cards, as you can name them. And when you hover them, it is a little bit darker, right? And again, and oh yeah, and if I open the page, I did not check beforehand because I don't remember the content of the website. Wait, I should click on it, it goes better. Yeah, you see, and if I go inside the website, all the links are dark orange. If I hover them, it is even darker orange. Here I have a light background in orange. So actually everything is in orange when I am in that part of the website. If I go to the next section, it's again a different ministry. And here it is a kind of between green and blue, right? And again, I have the same thing. And here I even have read more, which is even darker than what we've ever seen so far, right?
Right.
So actually, as you can, and key data in healthcare, that's a fourth ministry, and again, another color. So actually, for each of the 4 sections of the website, plus the global section, so we have 5 sections, I have a different set of colors. And every time I have like regular color, pale color, very pale color, darker color, and very dark color, according to where, if it's a button, then it's white on very, very dark. If it's some background, then it is very, very pale. So, and actually, when we were building that website, they were not even sure themselves. Oh, I don't know. For example, do you see here KCE, the logo at the bottom of the website? You see, actually, in their logo, they have like 4 or 5 main colors. So I would not know in advance which one they would pick. And at some point, oh, Mark, can you try that one? Oh, no, or that one. But every time, right, you had to multiply this by 10 because I have 10 different shades for each color. And every time it would appear at, I don't know, maybe 30 different places. So it was very tricky. And so I thought, well, now is the right moment to leverage the SCSS.
Yeah, I'm excited about it already.
Yeah. And I'm quite annoyed because actually the website I used for the asteroid.wordweb.be, which I built for the, I set up for the last Joomla user group, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Next to New York. Actually, the website is working, but somehow I don't have access to the backend.
Huh.
It's really weird because I've never had that. I know the server is low on resources because I just put the minimum, but still, I mean, I should have access. But okay.
Do you have another? You want to use my basic Joomla site?
Yeah, well, yeah, we could do that.
No, it's if you don't have a site to log in the back end that you can show people and rec, you can welcome. I rec
I
mine all the
actually,
time.
I will use another one. Let me think, but I should not break.
No, I just break it
No, I was okay. There are sometimes I building, so they are work in progress. But maybe I can show it on
because you're
those
welcome
ones.
to break one of my sites.
Yeah. um, so how does it work with SCSS? Let me show. Oh no, you only see my browser, I guess. So SCSS and darken, lighten. Okay, let's try this Stars color. So I'm just Googling to see some. That's a technical page. It's not what I want. Oh, here. This will be nice, I think. Yeah, we can do that on CodePen. Excellent idea. Let's just start with some CodePen. You see, that's very easy because here we are live. Afterwards, maybe I will log in some website to show how far it goes and how you can play with Joomla to add a class. Because here on my website, every section has a different color. So how could I say that the health status section was green? Actually, I added a class in the menu item so that in my CSS, I could say, okay, all the buttons, and I would use that class to target that section. But we'll see that afterwards, but it's just to mention, maybe you don't have different sets of colors, but once you have different sets of colors, then you can use a class in the menu item.
Okay.
But here, let's just start with some basic stuff. Maybe you only have one set of colors and you just want to play with them. Like here, actually, you know CodePen, Tim? CodePen.io.
I've not used it, but
Okay, I'll just say a few words
because
on
I
it.
don't do much. I don't do much coding, right? So and this involves a little bit of that, right?
It is precisely because of that reason that you should have a look at it, because it's nothing technical. Actually, you see, you have three columns, one where you type the HTML, one where you type the CSS,
Yeah.
and like in this case, it is set up as SCSS so that I can use that advanced language of CSS, and also JavaScript. Here in our case, I don't need JavaScript, but you could add a few lines of JavaScript just to test your code. And actually, what is very handy with CodePen, or you have other services like that on the web, but CodePen is very famous, is that actually you type hello Tim in HTML.
And it shows up right down below.
And yeah, you don't have to refresh. It shows everything live, right? And thanks to that, I could say, here, for example, on this page, actually what they have done is just a hyperlink, and the hyperlink has a class. And the class is just BTN, it stands for button, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you use Bootstrap, you're used to that, because in Bootstrap, whatever, 3 or 4 now, you use that a lot. When you want to have a link, and you want the link to have the look of the appearance of a button, actually, it's not a button like this. It's just a link having a background, right? And a little padding.
And so for those that are, because I had someone the other day ask what Bootstrap was, and it's basically a collection of set codes and CSS and different things for making columns. And so instead of having to go in and type, oh, I need column, you as you learn those codes, you can just put in classes like BTN, and it's already set up that way.
Yeah. Somebody's asking if my beer is good because they're seeing me. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So as a reminder, it's 8:30 p.m. at home, so it's time for the beer. It's not the morning, I mean, right?
That was probably cheating, right?
Not even some French friends.
Oh, okay.
So that's the idea of this tool. You just type your HTML, your CSS. For example, if I want a bigger padding, I would just type 28 pixels instead of 18, and I would have more padding, more space here around my text, right? Okay. So now, what's the use of that? Suppose that I put a second button here. I would just copy paste this, but for the second button, right, I will put another class. The class, well, here it was named BTN because it's standard for a button, but I could call it Tim. It does not matter the name that I give. But if I put the class Tim is not defined in my CSS, right?
Yeah.
So actually, I could say that Tim, and I could take the inspiration from the previous one, right? I will copy everything, and then we will change it. Okay, now Tim is defined exactly as button. One thing which is different from CSS is that you can have nested, how do you call that? You can nest your CSS instead of saying, oh yeah, I have Tim, but then I have Tim. Normally you should have Tim hover and again define it, right? You have to do them one by one. But in SCSS, you can do like it is shown here. You can nest your CSS. So it's very easy because it is less code. You have less lines of code to write your CSS. So the fact that you have the, how do you put that, ampersands?
Yep.
Yeah. Here it is specific. It does not work in pure CSS, right?
Okay.
After that, we will have to compile it. If you're, well, we will have, actually, if you use a template like Asteroid, you can just type your SCSS in your custom.scss file, and it will get compiled automatically by Asteroid template. And like here, it is done automatically because in CodePen we have said that this was SCSS. So actually, SCSS has to be compiled at some point.
Okay.
And if you use a good template, then it will be your template which does the job. Which is a case of Asteroid, which I would call a good template. So this is why we have this little ampersand hover here. So now the difference between Tim and button. So far we have no difference, right? But I could say that I could create a second variable and say, all right, Tim color. What is your favorite color?
Orange.
Is orange, right?
Yep.
And now in Tim here, we can say just Tim color.
Okay.
And we have it in orange.
Nice.
So far, it is exactly what you have shown of what we can do in pure CSS with variables, right?
Yeah, and this is a little
Because
bit...
just for that, you don't need SCSS. Then variables in CSS are good enough.
Okay.
But the nice thing here is that you see, for example, oh no, yeah, okay. When you hover the button, you want it typically you want it to become a little bit darker, right?
Sure.
So usually what you do is that you start to play with some tools to say, oh yeah, I want a darker color. And then the client changes the original color. Then again, you have to recompute. Oh yeah, no, then I need to find a new darker color. Here, it is very easy because as we see here for the purple button, when you hover the button, we just set at a background and we use the same variable. And this, I don't think that you can do in pure CSS, right? We can say, oh, we will darken the color by the color code button background by 10%. But I could say 20%, and then when I hover, it is even darker. Actually, if I make it 20% darker, it even becomes black or almost black, right?
Yeah. The other advantage I'm noticing here too is that in order to accomplish that in just straight CSS, you'd have to have a line to assign the link color. You'd have to have a line to assign the hover cover, and here you're doing it all in one place with the nesting things.
Yeah, with the nesting, it is much easier.
Nice.
Also, yeah. Your code is more readable. So here instead, maybe I could put it not in the hover, because then every time I have to hover to show it. For the orange color, let's say that, so for Tim, now when I hover, it is the dark purple. So I would say that when I hover that button, it will be, I will darken Tim's color by 10%.
Nice.
Oh, good. And what is really nice is that on the color wheel, right? On the color wheel, it is exactly the same color, 10% darker. It's not like when you have a color palette and that you want to manually select a darker color. Actually, you're never technically exactly in the same tone of the color. I mean, it will be more red or more blue or more yellow, whatever. But here, you are sure that it's coherent, right? It is you have an harmony because it's exactly the same color. It's not that you just try to pick a darker color which resembles. It is really technically perfectly the same.
Cool.
And also, let's just make a third button with the class Marc, and Marc also likes orange, but even lighter. So I could say that, because now I've just defined a few colors, right? But colors can also be variables can also depend one of the other. So I could say Marc color is actually I don't know. Instead of darken, I will choose lighten.
Okay.
Right, it's just the contrary. I just lighten Tim color by 10%.
Oh, wow.
And now,
okay.
No, here I should rename this Marc, right? So now for Marc, I will say, where am I? No, this is named Tim. Maybe I will make this bigger, otherwise it's difficult to show everything. Right, so now I have the same block for Marc, and I could say it is Marc color. Did I make a mistake? It seems. What did I miss? I just put darken, maybe I made a mistake. No. Maybe it's not refreshing. I must have missed something. Even if I put Tim color, it does not refresh, right?
Is it the line? Is it maybe line 3? If you take line 3 out, does it?
Wait, there is a mistake somewhere. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. That's a good thing.
Yeah, you need a semicolon. Yeah.
Exactly. So actually, when you make little mistakes like that in regular CSS, okay, maybe you would have a couple of lines which would not trigger.
Yeah.
But at some point, most of your CSS would still trigger. Only the few lines around your mistake maybe would not trigger.
Yeah, Bjorn said line 3 here in chat.
But with with SCSS, exactly. With SCSS, if you make any mistake, for example, if you're in Asteroid and you're writing your custom.scss file, if you make any mistake and you refresh your website, you will get an error, a blank page with an error saying that the compiling did not pass. Don't worry, just undo what you did in SCSS or find the error, because the error message you would get in Asteroid, for example, would be explicit. So that it would say at line 127, and so you can check where you made a little mistake in your SCSS. So now I can change this my color. So you see you have regular orange, which becomes dark, and I have dark, which becomes even darker.
Okay.
So actually, you can have variables depending on other variables, which is kind of handy. You can also have transparency. So for example, if I say, okay, let's do something else. The darken, instead of that, if I remember correctly, it would be RGBA for red, green, blue. And then the A is for transparency, 0.5. Right, so actually I can really manipulate everything. I can make it darker, lighter, or here I can add transparency. So actually in all my CSS code, sometimes I have several hundreds of lines, not written in one afternoon, but you add 10 lines to improve something, you add 20 lines to improve something else. So when your project is done, you end up with 500 lines of CSS, right? Because you customize so many things. And here it's very easy to maintain, because you just define all your variables at the start, and everywhere where if you want to make a gradient, it will be very easy, because, well, how to make a gradient in CSS. All right, let's take.
Oh, that's a cool site.
Oh yes, so many cool sites. So I'll just take this. Gradients are quite. It's the fashion, right? So now I could say maybe for Marc's button, instead of having a regular background, if I just add this, that's cool,
Oh, nice.
right?
Yep.
But then instead of using the technical reference of the color, I can just say that I would use, let's say, I will start with button background. Oh no, sorry, I went too fast when I deleted that. RGBA here. I had thought that today I would do like you, make a session without preparing it.
I'll own that. Well, look, and anybody who's used to my live streams knows that the live streams is hanging out as well, and that if I am going to 2 weeks from today, I'm going to talk about my goals for next year, and one of them is involving more polished videos that are recorded, not live streamed. But
so right, here we are. Okay, maybe the choice of the colors here we're not working
that's all right.
on nice colors, but and Marc color is wait, okay, Marc color was already something else, so I would just say that Marc color is dark and thin color by 20%. Okay.
Percent.
By 20%.
There we go.
Okay, just just to show, okay?
Yeah.
We've defined 3 colors. The third color is derived from the second one. So the colors are linked between together, and I make a linear gradient here for the background of my button. So this is how you can play with your SCSS, and it's very easy to maintain because your code will be shorter because you can say, okay, mark and everything, and then you add the hover, and since it's nested, it is less code, it is more readable. And then let's just see how it was implemented on this website. I just try to log in unless I really have no clue why the backend is not accessible. I've never had that on, it must be a server issue because the website works. Never mind.
So do you have some other kind of login there? Because I noticed that I know that you know to put /administrator. So it's just.
Yeah, it's but it does not.
But I don't see it. You don't have an administrator in there.
Yeah, but never mind.
Okay.
I'll just
don't show me. Don't show anything we're not supposed to see because it's really difficult to edit out after.
You have to blur everything.
Oh yeah, it's.
Can you blur my beer?
No, and Brian, Brian Rono said, "Cheers, Mark. Same time here."
Okay, thank you, Brian. So here, how do we implement that?
Ivor said to try another browser. He can see admin in Chrome. Are you in Chrome?
Yeah, but I don't get it.
How come you don't have /admin up there?
Yeah, but I did, but it does not. It is kind of dead. I don't know why.
Okay.
I'll just give it a last try. Administrator. It keeps. Maybe I should reboot my computer because I've done many things on it. So maybe I had some cache somewhere. Never mind. So on this website, the menu item, I'm just choose English. It's quite. Belgium is a multilingual country, so we speak Dutch, we speak French, a tiny part speaks German, and okay, we also have English for this website. So I will show the English website. As I was saying, homepage is brown, health status report is green, etc. Orange for the next one, etc., etc. So how was it implemented to say that we would have different sets of colors? I'll just take the home page and you will see that there are many. Oh yes, Serge says that he has access. So actually, maybe I should reboot, but I don't think it's a good idea to reboot right now. Okay, never mind.
I wonder if your IP is blocked.
No, I don't think so. I really think it's a question of my browser, which has some cache. So in the many options that we have, oh yeah, but on this one I won't find it because by default it is brown, so I won't find it. I would just take it for the health status. No, yeah, health status is green, so health status, let's see what we have there. On the, oh, maybe there are other ways to do it. Oh no, wait, page, oh yeah, sorry, it was there. Actually, when you want to have something special on the page, that the design is different, maybe that you want to have a shadow on the images, or you want to have the links to be another color on a given page, or anything which has to do with CSS, but you want it to only apply on one page or a few pages. Then actually you can use here in the backend, when you edit the menu item, you have a tab called page display, and you have a page class. Mm-hmm. And if you put a page class there, you will be able to target that specific page in your CSS, right? With a selector, you will say, I only want, and we'll see here what it gives. If I open this, maybe I will have to zoom a bit. So no, Right. I will unzoom a bit, otherwise I can't see the things on the screen. Where's my Cienzano? I've lost it. Yeah, here. Wait, I just... Oh, okay. I should unzoom even more, otherwise it is too wide for... Where is it? Oh, here. Okay. Actually, I wanted to zoom, but then I can't have it on the screen, right? Yeah. Actually, when you see the HTML of this page, you see every page in HTML. You have a head, and then you have the body, right? The head is with the technical things, the links to the CSS, to the JavaScript, whatever, the title page, all those things. The analytics code, all those things. And then you really start with the content of your page, which is the body tag in HTML. So because here, in page display, in my menu item, I wrote Cienzano, then here I have in the HTML, in the body tag, I have Cienzano, which is added to what my template is having. Right? All the rest comes automatically from the template. So suppose that here I would write...
you're assigning the class to the whole page.
Yeah. Now suppose that I would write KCE, which is another ministry, and I would refresh this page. Everything is orange. Dark orange for the background of my background. Here the title, and when I hover it is even darker. The date is dark. The title is medium. We have pale orange, right? And I will just reset it. Otherwise, I will get killed because we are working on an official governmental website, right?
It is a health site, though, so they could take care of you after.
Yeah. So again, I'll change it to Cienzano, and now I have the color of Cienzano.
Very cool.
And you see, with many different colors. So
and you've done actually, that. You've done that. I only figured this out. I think I probably figured this or learned this on a live stream when someone telling me to put something somewhere. And that is so. In the same way that we apply CSS. We apply classes to a module and it affects only how the module. What you're doing here is you're applying it to a menu item and that affects everything on that page where it applies, which is really cool.
Yeah, the fact that I add a class to the page has as such nothing to do with SCSS. I mean, it's just because I am adding all the advantages of different techniques, right? In Joomla, I can add, and this way, I can have pages which have totally different sets of colors, not just one different color, because then I would not need a CSS, but I mean, many different things in CSS. So instead of having, and then you will see the other advantage, because here in our little code pen, right, I made something quite basic just to show the flavor of SCSS. But then the big advantage is that you have, I don't think that you see you still see CodePen, right? You don't see what I have on the screen.
I see all your tabs, so just seeing in your browser.
Yeah, so now I'll just copy paste some code here from the other website. And I come back to CodePen because I only had one screen.
And Bjorn mentioned in chat here that Asteroid adds the alias as the class of higher up.
It adds, or it's used to, maybe Cheaton can comment on that, because it was the case, and I think they have just removed that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not sure. Or maybe it's still there in Asteroid template 0, but not in 1 or the other way around.
Okay.
Or maybe it was a mistake, it was removed, I don't know. So now I'm just pasting here because it is easier to show. I've just pasted the real SCSS file that I have on this website, right?
Okay.
So actually, as you can see, the neutral color is when we are not in a specific ministry. The home page is brown.
Okay.
So actually, I have defined what I wanted.
And you pick that name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's my name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said, and each ministry, like KCE is a ministry or Cienzano. So for KCE, it's a good example. For KCE, they gave me one color. And I didn't want to bother inventing a similar color which would come along very nicely with that one. So I just said, okay, they gave me KCE main, which is this official color. And then I said, okay, the light color would just be KCE main, but lighter by 10%, and KCE dark is darker by 10%. So actually, I just played with that. Or sometimes I chose manually a color because I wanted to have something more different, but never mind. So for each institution, for each ministry, I have main, light, and dark, right? Mm-hmm. Then I wanted to have loops because to make my code even shorter, because every time I would have to say, oh, yes, and then the button is the major color, but when you hover, it's the dark one. And when you want to have a background behind a box, I want the light one. But every time I have to do it 5 times because I have 4 ministries plus the homepage, right? So instead of having a long list of repeating lines, well, very similar lines, just the name changing, you can make loops in SCSS. So here, that's what I have said. I said, okay, let's make a group of all the regular color, right? Okay. So it is neutral main, Cienzano main, KCE main, Inamine main, health main, okay, for all the ministries. Then I've made a set of all the dark colors, neutral, dark, every dark color that I have defined at the start. Then I even put institution light, which is the set of all the light versions of the colors. And then what is really, really nice is that you can make loops. So I can say, oh, I've given a name to that, like, when I said institution main, of course, it's a name I chose myself, right? I could have said Tim or Mark or whatever.
Yeah.
So actually, instead of writing the same CSS over and over again, you can use this in SCSS. You can make a loop. So you say that you will take every institution and color which is in institution main, right? Okay. So it will take neutral main, Cienzano main, KCE main. So for every one of them, it will say, okay, when the background, when the body has the class or the ID institution, it will have the color of the institution. So instead of writing this 5 times, because I have 5 sets of colors, I just make a loop thanks to this line, right? So that I only write it once. And then, okay, it was not only the color for this, but this was the background color. This precise line is the background color here, right?
Right.
We have different cards. So we have very pale green, and when I hover, I have pale green. So it is exactly this. Okay. So we are looping, and every time, why is it pale? I did not lighten it. I just use the transparency, so that I would say, okay, it would be 90% transparent. So I only keep 10% of the color for the background. But when I hover it, you see here, hover, then it is 70% transparent. I keep 30% of the color itself, right? And all the same, and actually all my CSS are little loops like that, so that I don't have to repeat the same code over again, over and over again. So this was for the main color. Then for the dark color, I also had different things that I wanted to say that maybe the buttons are dark or whatever. So I would make loops for every set of color, light, medium, dark, and okay, again here, another loop. Okay, I won't show all the CSS, all the SCSS, but that's the point. At first, we showed that we can manipulate we can use the variable everywhere in the code.
Yeah.
Even better than that, we can darken, lighten, make transparent. And even better, we can code with it, like with those loops, which are very handy to have even more concise code without error. And if now they are just asking me, if on January the 1st, they just say me, oh, Mark, every ministry has a new color, it would be a matter of 2 minutes to change everything on the website. Even if it changes, maybe it would change 300 lines of my 500 lines code in CSS,
Wow.
right? It would change a lot. But
and how
for
much?
me,
And how much would you
it's just a
charge for
matter
that,
of
Mark?
changing. For you, it's free.
No, but if a client called up and said they needed a whole thing done over, and you could do it in 2 minutes,
Then I charge double. I charge 5 minutes.
yeah, okay, there you
Because
go.
my minimum increment in my timesheet is 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, good. And
Seriously,
that's
if it
no,
takes-
but that's someone
if it
under
takes
that's
5 minutes, I count 5 minutes.
yeah, and that's because you have them on a retainer, right?
Because I have. What'd you say?
You have them on a retainer or a monthly package or something.
Oh, it depends. Like for little interventions, like people calling me, oh, I have an issue, or can you do this for me, or can you improve that? And they have a contract with me, a maintenance contract, but they pay by the minute, or by the block of 5 minutes, actually.
Yeah.
So if it's quick, they just pay 5 minutes, and well, actually, I don't send an invoice for 5 minutes, but then actually they pay for 10 hours of my time. And every time I do something for them, then I just add it on the timesheet. And when the 10 hours are over, then I just resend a new invoice for the next 10 hours.
Yeah, and that's why I asked too, because I do that with my management packages. I have a monthly thing, and each month they get a certain amount of time included in that. And so when I do 5 minutes of work or 6 minutes of work, I keep track of the time, and then when it's used up, then they know it's extra. So
but actually the way I do it is not monthly, because then you have a kind of rollover and then okay. So in my case, because originally when I started, I just made prepaid packages of 10 hours. So that on that time budget, I would do the little changes they asked me, the improvements and everything, but also spontaneously, without them asking me, I would make all the updates of the website, Joomla, the extensions, the security, the backups, and everything. So I also count the time for that. But again, it's a real time. I mean, some people pay 1 hour of maintenance per month. Some people have complex sites, and maybe it's almost 2 hours is the exception. I mean, most of them is between, it's like 1 hour and a half, I would say, on average.
So getting back to SCSS or SAS, because they call it SASE SCSS, you've got the CSS there. The code in the HTML just looks the same, right? You're just putting in the same.
Oh yeah, the HTML is just the same. SCSS is just a more compact way of writing CSS, and with more power, because you have the variables, you have the loops, and what they call mix-in. So if you want to know even more, I've just put 2 interesting links here. We can open them. A SAS sheet, for example, right? So that you immediately see, the color functions. It's a very nice summary because, oh yes, here I just talked about what I use the most is like making transparent with RGBA, right? Like here.
Yeah.
Maybe I should zoom a bit, but and darken and lighten. But actually, you can also saturate, desaturate, grayscale, etc. So I mean, there are really many things. Maybe we could put this on the chat.
Yes. If someone wants to type that out in the chat, and I also have written it down on the back of an envelope for a bank statement that I'll put in the comments. So.
Okay, I don't
Because
remember.
I can't copy and paste on the Zoom call there, but that's all right. Someone's going to type it in chat, and then I will copy it and paste it somewhere.
Because I don't see the chat button anymore now that I'm presenting.
Yeah, that's okay. You just do that. Someone will type. Someone's typing it in chat right now as we speak, and then I'll copy and paste it.
So the idea is not that I speak 3 hours about SCSS. You've seen the basics, you've seen the interest of knowing that or using that.
Yeah.
Well, of course, if on your websites anyway, you never have more than 20 lines of CSS, don't even bother, right?
Right.
It's especially the more your websites become complex and you have long CSS files, the more it will be interesting. But this is a nice summary because you see how nesting works. If you wanted to do that with regular, let's just make a test, right? Actually, I go to CodePen, right? I will just delete everything and paste this, right? This is a very short, okay, now of course, I've lost my styling for my HTML, but it does not matter. What I wanted to show is that in CodePen, you can, okay, here when it was created, it was said that it was SCSS. But I can even ask him to compile it so that you will see what it becomes. This code is actually this, right? Mm-hmm. So, of course, in this little example, wait, I've lost I should copy paste it again. I'll close that, I'll close that, I'll close that. Where was it? Oh, here. But in many cases, when you start playing with nesting, it is very handy because you can really fine-tune your CSS so that you don't repeat every time the same things, right? You say, okay, for all the pages having markdown body, I will do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. Otherwise, you have to repeat that on every single line of CSS. Then what you have? Well, you have mixing, you have colors, other functions. Okay. I've never paid attention even to all the things you can do. Right, you see you can even round numbers and things like that in CSS, in SCSS. Okay, you have in here the loops are explained. Simple loops or complex loops. So, okay, it's a nice cheat sheet, how we could call it. The other link which I had where, oh no, I've lost, I cannot undo. I can't undo what I had, so wait a second, I'll just go to, yeah, the other link is this one, SaaSmeister, which is very handy to see when you want to learn and see whether it is correct and what it gives. So on the left-hand side, you see the SCSS, and the right-hand side, you see the result. So again, if I would take, well, maybe I could take one of mine. 1 second, I just go in I'll just take my whole file. That's interesting. I just put my whole, well, you see my CSS is almost 500 lines here.
Yeah.
Actually, I not intended to show everything, but is quite useful because you see that I have less than 500 lines here, and when it is converted to CSS, we have more than 3 times more, right? So actually, it's way more compact and more readable when I do this. Like here, you see, I make loops, and I say, okay, for all the dark colors, and then I start, and you see, you have the indentation. Is that correct? Indentation,
yeah.
Right? So you can really see, oh yeah, for all the colors. Oh yes, for all the pages, we just take the body having the ID or the class. Here it's the ID of the institution. Okay, and then for the wrapper. Okay, and then in that case for the title. So it's much more readable than having the corresponding results. I don't even know where it would be. Wrapper, I don't know where it is exactly. I don't know if I can search on that. No, maybe not. Well, never mind. You see here, it's very long and you repeat every time. So imagine in pure CSS, if I wanted to change something, if I wanted to change, I don't know, KCE, if on 1st of January they change their name, you see how many times I would have to repeat that in my CSS to adapt it?
Yeah.
Here it's more structured, more readable, and it's 3 to 4 times more compact. It's very clear, right?
Nice.
So
this
that's
is
the whole point.
this is also a great way to get different looks without having to have multiple instances of templates, right?
Yep.
So you don't create like a copy of a template and say blue template and assign things that way.
Yeah. Also, yeah. Exactly.
So
And so,
oh, go ahead.
what I should show maybe, because actually this is the, as I said when we made when I made that session about Asteroid recently, I said that I was a big fan of Elix 3 when it came out because it was really a game changer by Dechevre, and then they released Elix Ultimate, and this is the first and the only website I built with Elix Ultimate because right after this project, I discovered Asteroid a couple of years ago. And that's now, since then, I've never used Elix Ultimate anymore. I've always used Asteroid. And so maybe now they have improved, but as far as I know, in Ultimate, there was no custom SCSS file. So I would have to cheat and to do it manually and to tweak the files, to import my own SCSS. But in Asteroid, it is native. So just to show an example.
Yeah, so I was going to say, so in Asteroid, so once you have your SAS code or your SCSS code, you're going to copy that and paste it in a file on your server in the template. Okay. Yeah. And this is how you do it in Asteroid.
Custom.scss. Because it's very easy when you go to the documentation, how to add custom CSS or SCSS files. So it's native. It's usually people know that if you go to the template folder, CSS subfolder, you create custom CSS file, and that's it. And actually, it's the same principle for custom SCSS in Asteroid. You just go to the SCSS subfolder. Okay, there you have to create a custom subfolder, and then it's custom.scss. And when you edit it, the only thing I wanted to say, so it's very easy because it's native. With the website I'm showing here, every time I make an update of the template, I have to re-edit manually some SCSS file to re-import my own code because it's not standard like in Asteroid, or it was not, at least, until recently. So when you're on a website with Asteroid, let's just take this one. Actually, because Asteroid also optimizes the code, you don't want that every time a visitor comes to your website, you don't want that your website would have to recompile or the SCSS to generate the corresponding pure CSS, right? So actually, when you edit your custom.scss file, you just have to go to open as, and you click on clear cache, right?
Yep.
When you do that, actually it does two things. You see that on the bottom right, the Joomla cache is cleared. I do it again, but also the asterisk cache is cleared. And before I would use SCSS, I would think, oh, but what is it clear? What is it that cache that asterisk uses? Among other things, it is precisely this SCSS compiling.
Do you want to clear the cache one more time, because my picture was covering over that corner. I just turned myself off.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There, then you have the confirmation at the bottom right that it is clear. So actually, you should not forget that if you edit your SCSS, you won't see the impact immediately. You first have to clear that cache from within asterisk so that it will regenerate. I can't show it because then I have to log to FTP, but it will regenerate all the optimized CSS files that you want. And also they have options, like now I'm not speaking of SCSS anymore, but
so now
you have options to minify.
Mark,
optimize.
you're a husband, so you'll have to handle this delicately, but there's a bit of background noise.
Oh yeah. Tout le monde vous entend clairement sur la planète entière parce que le micro prend tout. Okay.
Sounds so much better in
but
French.
Anyway, I had finished with this. I was just saying that okay, clearing the cache does probably also other things according to, I guess, whether you minify the SCSS to make it more compact, remove the comments and all those things.
And you said that Asteroid compiles it automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what?
Every time you click on clear cache, it will recompile your SCSS file.
Now, because Bjorn said here that he always compiles it first. Now, for people that aren't using Asteroid, if they're using another system that doesn't automatically compile it, you must go to a website and, okay, Sassmeister.
Yeah, for example. Or, I mean...
Oh, is that the compiled in the right-hand screen?
Yeah, on the left-hand side, it's SCSS. Right-hand side, it is the compiled.
Okay.
So, as I was saying, the SCSS is 3 to 4 times shorter, in my case here, than the corresponding CSS. So for me, for writing, it is much more efficient to have something like this, very well structured, very well readable, and
It didn't twig on me that the right hand was actually the compiled.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, that's okay. Because in my mind, I thought compiled it was going to be all squished together, but.
Oh no.
I
It's
gotcha.
just a question of the SCSS is reinterpreted to make it plain CSS that all browsers can understand.
Okay.
Browsers cannot directly normally understand SCSS.
Yeah.
So they need the compiled version. Otherwise it would have to compute too much, I guess. So yeah, for Asteroid it is built in, or maybe for the templates. I don't know for the other templates, but.
Okay, Bjorn also points out that VS Code has an extension that does a live Sass compiler as well. So.
Yeah, and if for the people, there are many in the Joomla community using an editor like PHP Storm, right? An IDE like PHP Storm.
Yeah.
Well, you also have it, of course. But if you have no tool, if you're not a technical person, you have no special software, you can just use Sassmeister to see, either to play with it, either to compile it for your website. You could just write it with Notepad in SCSS, compile it on this website, and copy paste it in a regular custom.css, not SCSS file, in a good old template which does not manage SCSS, and it would do the trick.
Okay, cool. Well, just imagine the possibilities.
Yeah, so it's your session 2 weeks ago which gave me the inspiration to say, oh, maybe it would be worth digging on that idea of improving the process when writing CSS.
It was like seeing a thread hanging off of someone's cuff. You just want to pull it and fix it there. So that's good. All right, now listen. In the comments up above, Chuck said that he was looking at your website and thought a great live stream topic would be on how to get Joomla certified.
How to get Joomla certified?
Maybe.
Certification Joomla.
Oh yeah, I know, but anybody can read. We want to hear someone who's in the trenches. So what? But we won't do that now.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, but yeah, okay. First thing, you just go to, well, it was too easy, certification.joomla.org.
Yeah.
I did it very early in the process, like I am number 16 in the world. Now there are a few hundreds having the certification. And I did it more for the fun. I cannot pretend that any of my customer ever said, well, we were looking for someone having the certification, otherwise we would not hire you. So, but actually, I already knew Joomla quite well, and because of that, I just spent 1 or 2 days going on before the certification, going on every tab of every option of every tab of every page of Joomla in the backend, and I learned so many things. Oh, there's an option for that. Oh, there's an option for that. Oh, this is possible. And actually, when you use your favorite CMS, you probably after some time you know many things. But sometimes some options are added and you never see them because you have 10 options. Maybe tomorrow you have 12 on that screen. But you never start to read them one by one. You just click on the one you know, and you don't always discover the new things. So actually, it was really interesting taking certification, not for business reasons as such, but more for a personal development process.
Cool. Oh, did we?
It was fun, yeah.
Did we lose you? Oh, there we lost your camera for a second. No, that's. Oh, we lost your camera again.
Oh,
there you go. Excellent. No, well, you're gone now, but that's okay.
Yeah, you will blur that, yeah?
No, I'm not going to blur that. I might have to have a blooper reel or something like that. Okay, so let's see. What do we got here? View options. Stop. Did you stop sharing? Maybe that's what you did.
I don't think so.
No. Oh, I know. It's showing whoever's talking.
Maybe I should stop sharing.
No, but I changed the view to show whoever is speaking.
Oh, you changed, yeah.
But just because I wanted your face bigger while you were talking, but apparently.
Oh yeah, because I was showing certification.joomla.org.
Yeah, but apparently, oh my goodness. See, if I'm just quiet, it will stay on you. But then, let's see here. Let's see.
But okay, for this topic, and I don't pretend I'm an expert, right? I just went to a couple of sites, and then I thought, oh, it would be interesting for my case to make loops, and I found several examples on the web, and I improved upon that. But I cannot claim I'm an expert of SAS SCSS. But actually, if you have a use case that you will have a long CSS file, it is really worth. Not even for simple sites. I start with SCSS because it starts simple, and then you keep improving your CSS. And if you have started with your variables, you say, okay, I darken, I lighten, I make transparent, I make a gradient.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
No, and that's the thing about it. You learn one thing, you start to do another thing, and then it's like. But I like whenever you're on the channel because you give us the basics and you get us going and give us some ideas, and then in the middle of the night we'll wake up and think, oh, I can use this to do that. Oh, okay. Because I do have a project I'm working on right now. I have 1,500 lines of custom CSS. changing a bunch of things. So maybe.
I guess I guess there should be tools on the web allowing you to, maybe it's not perfect, but to transform your regular CSS to SCSS. You should Google that. Maybe there are tools to already make part of the jobs to reconstruct, right?
Yeah, that's and you would think so, that maybe it would look at something and say, oh, this is duplicated, or this can be merged all into one custom thing and get rid of lines in that. So, because I know certainly I'm aware when I am doing custom CSS stuff that I'll use Element Inspector, I'll select the whole tag, then I try to take out what I'm not changing just to keep things lighter. Don't always remember to do that. Sometimes I'm just in a hurry and I just bomb something in and make a change. But
Say, I'll just make a quick search CSS to SCSS
yeah,
converter.
beautify
So
tool.
if
Yeah.
you have an existing website where you would think, I should have done it from the start, maybe it's not too late and you can already have a good part of the job done here.
Yeah, cool. You put in your existing CSS, maybe. Yeah, cool. To beautifytools.com. Well, thank you very much. Let's see. I gotta. Oh yeah, gallery view. That gets us back here. But of course, I'm. Where am I? Yeah, I'm on the screen down here in the corner. I'm mini me, down in the corner. That's how it works with the camera setup today. Yeah. So Mark, thanks very much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
It's 9:30 your time now.
It's 9:30.
All right, so everybody, just a little teaser for next week. Like I said, we're going to play some games of Joomla Jenga on the live stream. I asked Mark if he would be available for a heavyweight round, because for those of you that are interested in playing, and I'll get going in the Slack channel to talk about this. But for those of you interested in playing next week, I want to sort of just match people up. But I thought, well, some people might find it intimidating to get matched against Marc Dechevre in a game of Joomla Jenga, because I mean the guy's Joomla certified. He's number 16. And then I thought, well, I'm hoping to get Chayton to play a game as well. And I thought, well, a lot of people aren't going to want to go up against Chayton. So I thought a great heavyweight title match, a battle for Joomla Jenga would be to put Mark and Chayton against each other. And I have a special surprise for them. Chayton hasn't agreed yet, but I think he said he was going to come on. He said it sounded interesting. So, but I'm going to have a special site for them to battle it out in Joomla Jenga. So that's going to be next week, Lord willing, right here on the channel at the same time. All right, so I guess it's time to wrap this up. Everyone's saying hi. Brian says, nice to hear more about SAS, SCSS. Chuck's asking, is anyone getting security risk message for Beautify tools? No, we didn't check that out, but do the Google search and maybe try something else as well. Bjorn says he's already there. I don't know who he's talking about at that point, but anyways, well, everybody, let me, now this is going to just be a little... Oh, there we go. You're gone, Mark. But we can still hear you. Everybody, thanks for tuning in to today. Thank you very much to Mark for another incredible introduction to something that's very useful for all of us that are looking to grow our web skills. Until next time, watch me work. Maintenance Monday coming up on Monday, and then, like I said, watch me work live stream number 100 next week. That is going to be fun, December 23rd. So thank you very much, Mark. And
my pleasure.
Everybody, enjoy your Joomla sites. God bless. And where's my off button here? There we go. There it is. Enjoy your Joomla sites. God bless.